Okay, so the way today is going to work, first introduce myself. So I am Adam Dubas. I am the head of the Digital Health Entrepreneurship program and head of research within the Global Business School for Health. So I have a couple of slides here today where I'm going to walk through a little bit about the program, a little bit about London and University College London, UCL, and talk a little bit about some of the things that you could expect if you were to apply to the program. I expect that to take about 20-25 minutes, and then we'll have plenty of time on the other end to ask any questions that you might have about the program, about London, and I'm happy to stick around as long as it takes to get through your questions. We will wrap up early and get a little bit of time back in our busy days. So the digital health entrepreneurship, and so a little bit more about who we are as a department. So as you've probably seen on our website, the Global Business School for Health, we launched a little over a year ago as the first business school in the world that is completely dedicated to educating the next generation of health and healthcare management leaders. There is health in other business schools, but we have fundamentally built this program and the department around only health, and therefore everyone in the department has a specialty there in order to have a complete guide to support you. Our goal is to help reimagine how global healthcare works around the world. We've all seen the many strains in the world over the last several years due to changes in how healthcare is being used and the need for healthcare. And with a global perspective, looking at how some countries have done things well, how some systems have done things poorly, and trying to imagine what does the best system look like. And that's really our goal in all facets of health and health management. We want to use this knowledge to help unravel the health challenges from a business perspective. Now, this isn't just a purely profit-motivated mission. This is also an impact-driven. Our goal is to ensure that everyone in the world has access to quality healthcare, however that comes to be, whether that be via profit or via impact, because both are viable business opportunities. And really, it's to push the status quo. We've seen all the failures of healthcare. We know that other industries have succeeded. What can we gain from one aspect of the business world to bring into healthcare, trying to question how health works in order to better create a health system for the future that, again, impacts positively on the majority of people. So the Digital Health Entrepreneurship Program, so the cost for next year is £18,000 a year for UK students, $32,100 for students that do not have residency rights in the UK. We'll be starting the last week of September 2023, and we run for 12 calendar months, wrapping back up in September of 2024. The program can be taken either as a full-time, that one-year option, September to September, or as a part-time running over the course of 24 months. The majority of classes are being taught out of the brand new UCL East campus. So we have another brand new building opening up this summer called Marshgate. That is going to be the home of the Global Business School. This is where your class is going to be. So you'll be the very first class participating in this brand new purpose-built building for us. The program itself is an intensive integrated health and business course. Most business schools do business and they do a token nod to health. We do both. So regardless of whether you're coming from a healthcare background, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, an optician, a pharmacist, or whether you come from a business background with very little science or health background, both of you are going to be equally challenged. You do need to understand both aspects of this to be successful. And we have the people in place and the courses in place to ensure that you are successful in health entrepreneurship and especially digital health management when you're done. This program is ideal for students who are interested in the fast-paced and rapidly developing world of digital health. 5 years ago, if you would have said that the world would have moved to telehealth applications, everyone was saying, oh, it's 10 years away. We saw how quickly the world can change and how quickly technology has caught up to fill the gaps that were needed. This is a very fast-paced field, and the students coming into this are understanding those fast-paced, understanding where it's come, where it's going, so they can be those strategic leaders leading for the future to understand where digital health is going and to better lead your company or the companies that you are working for in that direction. You're going to develop skills and strategies to identify healthcare solutions. There are several aspects of the year where you're actually looking to develop a viable business plan around a digital health solution, and we'll teach you how to do that and guide you through that process. You're going to explore the potential innovations and sharing and shaping opportunities with your classmates. Group work is something that is essential, whether it be for a startup or in a company. All the market research we've done talking to top employers around the world, teamwork is always the top thing. We put that into every aspect of what we're doing. We also are looking to, you'll also have the opportunities both in a short scale and a long scale to investigate business ideas. There are courses where over the short term you will develop a business case on a framework, and then in term 3, part of your key capstone project, term 3 project is and different business case related to innovation of your choosing. So how do you get onto this program? So it requires a UK degree or overseas equivalent of a 2-1. This is a very competitive program, but students that have research or work experience, so that you graduated a few years ago, you worked for a few years and you're looking to upskill via an MSc, put that in your cover letter, because we are looking to have a well-rounded cohort of students. So the 2-1 is a requirement, but if you think you have work experience or other experiences that would make up or explain why you don't have a 2-1, please do apply. We do review all applications. There is a language requirement to either have a UK or English speaking country degree or an IELTS score of 6.5 or above average with no individual score under 6. This is a hard rule. Written and verbal communication is an essential part of both teamwork and of all of your assessments. Having a good understanding of the English language is essential for being successful in this project. You also need to provide a personal statement. Why do you think you would benefit from this program? And one reference that can speak to your abilities and explain why you would be such a great addition to this program. So elaborating on, so if you think this, do you fit these requirements? So we're looking for individuals that envisage their careers in health and entrepreneurship. Now, this takes many different aspects. Maybe this is you have an idea and you want to learn how to make that idea real, how to make a company of your own. This could be that you want to work in the area of startups, but maybe you want to work on the venture capital side, or maybe you want to work from the other aspects of business. Okay, so I see that there's a few questions coming through in the Q&A. I will come to those at the end. If for some reason I break up, please you can put that in the chat. Otherwise, I will take the questions at the end if that's okay. And so yeah, so the degree is really especially suited for those who run a digital health company, or again, just have that entrepreneurial mindset, whether this again is in investing, working in business development for an established company, or trying to establish your own. So as I said, the program will start in September of 2023. It starts with a 1-week induction. This enables the students to really focus on becoming acquainted with London, acquainted with where you're going to be, where your classes are going to be, get to know the classmates that you're going to be spending a lot of time with over the period of study. We also have a number of networking activities where we bring in business execs from around the world to give lectures, to interact with you, and to start building the network that you're going to need to be successful when you are done. The program itself then kicks off the beginning of October. Every week, you're going to have an in-person session for every class. Attendance is required. There's a lot of activities that occur during class, a lot of learning that takes place during class. So it is essential that you show up. And then there are going to be online lectures. These are usually posted online with a series of reading so that you can take that information on as you are able, and then come prepared for the activities that are going to be in class for every module that you take. The course has 180 credits. If you're going full-time, this is going to be 8 compulsory modules. There are no options on this program, so everyone takes the exact same modules. You have 4 during term 1, 4 during term 2, and then you have 2 projects during term 3 that fill in the last term, taking you to that full calendar year. If you go part-time, you then do 2, 2, and then 1 project each of the term 3s. You start those projects in term 2 and leading towards their full-time working on them during term 3. Your assessments are a combination of written examinations, essays done either in class or on your own time with a date. There's a number of presentations and other assignments. So there are usually multiple graded opportunities you're on single item scores. As you know, I talked about how expensive it is. There's a number of different opportunities available for scholarships. There is the Women in Healthcare Leaders program that provides a £5,000 scholarship towards tuition. It also provides a number of leadership and development opportunities, preparing students for the move into management, meeting with like-minded leaders to provide you the skills and the mentoring needed, not just outside, not just in the classroom, but also for the soft skills needed to be transferable. There's also the Global Healthcare Leaders. This is students from anywhere in the world that have shown leadership in their space and want to make a difference in healthcare. And so the applications for these are available on the department website. There's also a number of other abilities within UCL. There's a number of graduate taught fundraising or funding scholarships. So if you look at the UCL website, the link down on the bottom, it has a very good description, specifically who's eligible for all of these and what you have to do to apply. These are on you and are served outside the department, but do have a read there because there's a lot of opportunities available. Career support, obviously we want to make sure that everyone coming through the program has a good chance of finding an excellent chance of finding a job when they're done. This starts during the induction week where we start letting you build your networks. We work very closely with UCL Careers where we provide you the skills and opportunities to take on the skills, to make your CV, to get your interview practice, get you ready for applying. Just this week, we had our first career fair. We expect to have several of these throughout the course of the year. Same thing for you. We had 55 different executives, 17 employers working with our students, understanding what do you have to do to be successful in your first job applications, what do you have to do to be successful in your first jobs, how to write your CVs, what sort of skills are people looking for. And like I said, we had 55 individuals from across the healthcare space come and help us run all the different workshops, one-on-one tutoring, as well as keynote addresses. And we expect this to grow as we have more space. We run a health executives and residents program. This about every other week, there's somebody that is a well-known luminary in their field that gives a half day to meet with students in 15-minute increments. You can sign up for those and meet with those. There's a number of different mentoring activities and events that we run throughout the year where you can start building the networks that you need to be successful. And again, we work very closely with all of the careers and innovation activities across campus, telling you about all the activities that are being provided for you on top of what we provide as well. So as far as what happens when you're done, there's any number of opportunities out there. Whether this means you want to potentially become a management consulting, supporting companies developing business ideas. We work very closely with PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, EY, McKinsey. We have consultants from all of them coming through regularly to speak to you, advertising within our career opportunities. Whether this means management roles, we work very closely with the WHO and many different healthcare systems around the world. With the leaders of those that are coming to us looking for recent alums. We also have links to pharma as well as many digital and health tech startups, including Google and YouTube, which do quite a bit of teaching within the course and get you access to those sorts of opportunities. Obviously, spending your time with us isn't all about education. While it's important, UCL has a lot to do to support you in everything else that you want to do. UCL has their Students Union. This is the entity across campus to link you with similar-minded people, providing club societies on anything that you could possibly want. It has over 250 opportunities that are run centrally. You also have the opportunity within the student union to develop a digital health entrepreneurship club that can be run just out of our program, giving you money to bring in speakers, to run activities and social events for you as the students of the course. Anyone who's athletic or interested in sport, there's over 70 sports clubs, anything from Aikido to ultimate frisbee, and any of your major sports are going to have societies that come together both internally and externally, depending on what level you want to commit. There's other societies such as Amnesty International, yoga branches on campus that you can participate in. We work very closely with the student support and well-being team. They do several presentations throughout the year to remind you what they are. UCL provides 24-hour counseling for anyone who may need it, given the rigors of life, the stresses of potentially being away from home. There's programs in place to do that, and we're incredibly understanding of those sorts of needs. So you may know UCL, but UCL East is a brand new entity. It launched last summer. It's a state-of-the-art facilities built in the middle of the Olympic Park. You have the picture here. This is Pool Street. This is one of the buildings. The building right here is Marshgate. This is a new purpose-built building for us that we will be taking over in the new in the summer. So the class in the fall will be running out of this building. As you can see, it's very green. It's right in the middle of the Olympic Park, so there's plenty of space to walk, run, or cycle, whatever sort of activities you may want to do. Stratford as a place is incredibly well connected. There's a number of lines running through it. It's very quick to get anywhere in central London, whether it be King's Cross, Oxford Street, wherever you may want to go. There's a lot of student accommodation. UCL East is part of the new East Bank area of London that is being built up, that is a cultural and educational destination. Anyone who knows the UK may know the Victoria and Albert, the V&A Museum. They've built a brand new branch just next door to us, providing cultural activities. Sadler's Well is a playhouse and with a lot of off the West End type plays. It has launched. BBC's music venues are on the Olympic Park, just beyond where we are, and so you have access to those. And then the University of Arts London College of Fashion is also right there on that East Bank. So there's a lot of opportunities for cultural activities on top of nature and just the space. It has the largest mall, the largest mall in Europe, the Westfield Shopping Center. You have to walk through it to get to our campus. It provides any number of eating opportunities, socializing opportunities. But then just on the other side of the Olympic Park is Stratford High Street and Hackney Wick, with restaurants of any type of nationality and ethnicity that you could possibly think of. So it's all right around just a couple minute walks away. And then, as I said, it's very well connected. There's an 8-minute train to Stratford, from Stratford to St. Pancras International. That's King's Cross, which gets you on the international trains to the continental Europe. The trains from there go to Stansted Airport and in Heathrow for easy in and out that way. And then, as I said, there's lines connecting there that take you all the way through central London, wherever you want to go, as well as all the legacy sporting events and activities that are existing on the Olympic Stadium or on the Olympic Park. So that's just a little piece of London. Obviously, London is an incredibly vibrant place. There's no lack of activities in Bloomsbury, the central home of UCL. As I said, whether you take the high speed to St. Pancras or you take the Elizabeth line to the southern part of campus, it's a few minutes, 8 to 15 minutes, and you're in the middle of Bloomsbury, the central UCL. London has no lack of tourist activities, whether it be our museums or galleries. Many of them are free and open long hours that you can take part in if you want. Obviously, there's a very big sporting cities, rugby, cricket, football are all big and active. London is a very green city. There's a number of large parks, not just the large Olympic Park that we are based on. We're right next to Hackney Wick and Victoria Park, to very large parks with large areas to do anything that you'd want to do in green space. And it's very well connected into other areas such as Mud Chute and Isle of Dogs, or even into Central Hyde Park and the other many parks of London. And obviously there's no lack of pubs and clubs if that's the activities that you want to take part of, both in East London as well as other parts of London. And just a few years ago, London was ranked the top city in the UK for students, and there's no lack of activities, whether it be free or paid for, whatever you are up and interested in doing. So obviously you're all here today to hear a little bit more about Digital Health and Entrepreneurship program. Maybe you're interested in finding out about some of the other programs that we're running. There's the MSc in Biotech and Pharmaceuticals next week, as well as anyone interested in doing a PhD in health management. Anyone interested in MBA or DBA programs, those are coming up in early March. And obviously the same place that you found information about this event on our website, you can follow up for both the recording of this as well as any other activities that are coming up, as well as tutorials and other workshops that we may be running free of charge. So with that, that wraps up my presentation for today. If anyone has questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat and I will read them out and answer them. So the first question comes out is, what portion of the year's cohort were international versus domestics? About 65% of the students this year are internationals, and the remaining being domestic. We expect that number to be very similar for next year. How many had work experience prior to starting the master's? This is very dependent on the program. The Digital Health Entrepreneurship, about a third of the students had any work experience, and only a very small handful, 3 or 4 out of 70, had more than 3 years of work experience. Programs like the MBA required a minimum of 3 years work experience. The pharmaceutical and biotech management, those students had an average of about 3 years. So the amount of work experience is highly varied, but the digital health one, most of the students come straight from an undergraduate degree. So the question is do we specifically cover digital health in low resource settings? This is a global program. Our speakers do come from all over the world. We do look to have solutions in low resource settings. We are, as I said, we do look at all the models. This is not a UK health system. This is not a UK program. This does have a global presence. And at every aspect, we do bring in examples from low resource regimes and how to make them scalable. Okay. Any other questions today? Okay, can we bring in a project we plan to work on ourselves? So there are 2 projects that are run during term 3. The first one is a systematic lit review on a topic of your choice. So if there's an area that you would like to learn more information about, by all means, you can bring in your own project. As far as the business cases go, we do a lot of work to make sure that the teams that we put together are well balanced. And so you can bring in a business idea to that and work with the team to scale it up. The thing is and if you want to commercialize it, there are opportunities available to it. However, all members that are contributing do need to contribute equally. And so any sort of IP that may be developed around a prototype, which is not required, but if you do decide to go that way, you do have to divide that out. So many of our students coming in this year did have ideas. There are many different ways that we can support you both within the class, as well as other resources within UCL. One of the things I didn't cover in my talk, UCL has what we call Base KX. This is an incubator that brings in top talent from around the world to support entrepreneurs that are related to UCL. So as a student and within 3 years of graduation, you are able to apply to that. It's free to students, and in that you get access to experts in the field, space to work and grow your team, as well as some funding opportunities to get your idea off the ground. So there's no lack of opportunities if you bring in an idea to work on it, both within the aspects of the class, as well as within the opportunities that UCL provides to entrepreneurs that are looking to develop their idea. So depending on the level of IP that you have and the maturity of your idea, by all means, bring your idea and we can facilitate ways to help grow it within the program. So do most students study full-time? It's a pretty good split. About 3/4 of them this year are studying full-time. These are usually the ones coming straight out of an undergrad. The ones that do have work experience, many of them have kept their jobs and are working part-time, going to school, sorry, full-time, part-time. We do everything that we can to schedule classes 2 days a week. So as I said, if you go full-time, you have 4 modules. You do 2 in the first, so we'd have 2 on one day, 2 on another day, so that there are days in the middle to work. Or at worst, you would have half days of class. So we do everything we can to make working possible, but within the confines of our space. Most students do go part-time, or sorry, do go full-time, but there is a large cohort of them doing part-time. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Well, if I don't see any more questions, I'm happy to wrap this up, give you about half hour of your day back. I'll stop the recording.